Hello everyone and welcome to the hands-on demo on AWS command line interface, AWS CLI. So this slide will cover all three installation: Windows, Linux and Mac, but I will be just showcasing the instructions and I will be showcasing on my Mac machine. So for Windows install, there is a link for documentation. If you click that link, you will be taken to the Windows installation for all three: Linux, Mac and Windows. So for Windows it is straightforward. You just click this first link and it will download an MSI file which you just have to run, and it should be just like any other installer on Windows. And once you install, so link is also there, so just click it. So there is no version, so if you just click this link, it will ask you to download the MSI. So I'll just cancel it because I will be using the Mac version. And after that you just do AWS -- version to confirm whether you have installed it successfully on your Mac machine. Next is Linux install. So Linux install documentation is also here only. So if you click on Linux tab, and you can follow the command line installer, or you can so for command line installer also you just follow the instructions. So either you install or upgrade, so one of it. So there are two: Linux x86 or ARM, so depending on which architecture you are using. Okay, third one, so I have given the instruction. So this is for Linux x86 and for Linux ARM. So first is install, or second is upgrade in case you already have it. And lastly the third one, Mac install, which I will be showcasing. So for that I'll click this link and it will prompt me to save the pkg file, which I will save on desktop. Okay, so this will download the file, and next step is to run the installer. So to run the installer, I'll go to the desktop folder and double click the file and click continue. So this will tell you the version. So it will install to 17.42. Agreement, agree, and I will say install for all users of this computer. So I already have it installed, but I will just it does not matter. It will not hurt that if I just so it has automatically figured out that it has to upgrade because it's already installed. So I'll say continue and install. So it will ask for password. So the installation was successful. I can just close this window. So after this, to verify whether the installation is successful, I can run which AWS. So I'll just copy this command and open my terminal and paste this command. So it is saying user local bin AWS. So it is at this particular path. Okay, so it is exactly as per the documentation, so it should show this path. Next I can do an AWS version. Okay, so AWS version is also showing as per the installer, so 217.42. Next step is to configure your AWS CLI with your AWS console. So we will have to create something called as access keys, and for that you have to log into AWS console. So I'm in my AWS console. So if you go top right, AWS with your AWS account, you click your AWS account and click on security credentials. And you have to create an access key. So I will be using my root user itself just to showcase. But best practices is to create a user and then create a access key for that user, and that user will be using AWS CLI with their access keys, but this procedure is same. So it will say alternative to root user keys, and it is recommending. So it is not recommended, but I will be showcasing that in a separate IM lecture. So I say I understand creating a root access key is not a best practice, but I still want to create one. Because you can create a user and give him all the privileges, but procedure is same: how to use create access key and how to configure that with AWS CLI. So create access key and this will show me the access key and secret access key. So I will just keep this screen and I will copy that when I configure my AWS CLI. So we got this particular screen, and now I will configure the AWS CLI. For that I have to run AWS configure command. So I go to the command line and type in AWS configure. So now I have to paste in AWS access key ID, and this access key ID will be shown only once. So once you move away, it will not be shown. So you can just copy it, or if you forget to take it, you can just delete it and recreate a new one. So I'll paste that, and then AWS secret access key. So I'll take the other part. So I just copy this whole thing and paste it. I can just use the default region US East 1 and default output format as JSON. Okay, so after this, and this is my AWS CLI is configured to work with my AWS account. So you can just think of this key ID and key access key are like user ID password. So this is how it knows that this account, AWS account, is tied to this particular key ID. So when we log into web console, we use user ID password, but when we log in via AWS CLI, we use key ID and access key, and this key ID is tied to your AWS user account. Okay, I can just say at this point done, because I just copied it, so I don't need that. Next, I can just run some verification command to make sure that everything is configured fine. So I just copy this. So this is showing that I have one. So this is S3 list command. So it will list all the buckets. So I have one bucket in my S3 account, which I will showcase after I create one more bucket. Next, I can just create a another bucket. So I just copy this make bucket command and paste that. So because the bucket name has to be universally unique, so I'll just type in some numbers at the end. So it has make bucket is successful, and if I just do S3 list, so this is so I can see now I have another bucket. So this has confirmed my verification step as well. Next step is so we have done all the bucket creation, everything. So I can just confirm once on S3 console. So I can just go to S3 service and open link in new tab, because I will be deleting this key after once this demo is recorded. Okay, so now I can see two bucket, but I can just show you that this bucket is because I have chosen default region as US East 1. So it has taken the default AWS region, whichever is configured with my AWS CLI. Otherwise, what we can do, if I want to create a bucket in some other region, I have to give region, and let's say I want to give in US West 2, and I'll just put some new unique random number at the end. Okay, so it has created a bucket, and if I showcase that, if I go to the buckets, click refresh, so you will see this particular bucket is created in US West, because this is my default region as per the CLI, because default region I chosen this. If I don't want, I have to specifically pass this parameter which says that I want to create this particular bucket in this particular region. Okay. So now I will just clean up all the resources because I no longer need them. So first I will create this example bucket. So just select that, click on delete. You have to type in the whole thing. So go to the other one. Sorry, I have to go here back and select that, click on delete and copy paste the bucket name, paste it and delete. So I have deleted both the buckets. Next is to, I don't because we are just seeing this functionality, so I don't need access key, and anyway it's not a good practice to use a root access key, so I'll be deleting the access key as well. So I am on my, so if you have to just come here, if you have lost that page, click on security credentials and you will be at your my security credentials. If you just scroll down a bit, you should see the key, and I can just select that key and click on delete. But before delete, you have to click on deactivate. So it's deactivated, and to confirm deletion, you have to copy the whole access key, paste in and click delete. So now I don't have any access key. And that's all. Thanks for watching.